Hey, I'm Alexander, and today we're going to take a look at TINHIFI's T2 DLC IEM, which is an updated version of TINHIFI's well-known T2. The unit for today's episode was kindly provided by Linsol in exchange for my honest review. As always, I'm not paid to say anything in particular about the product, and all thoughts and opinions in today's episode are my own. TINHIFI T2 DLC is an updated version of classic T2 IEM, and it uses a 10mm dynamic driver with a 4th generation DLC composite diaphragm driver. It currently retails for $59 US. IEMs come in a black carton box. On the front of the box there's a T2 and TINHIFI branding, and on the back of the box there's a number of QR codes. Inside the box we have another book-style black box. The same box comes with the original T2, but it's in blue. In the box we have T2 DLC IEMs, 8-core silver-plated detachable cable, 6 set of silicone ear tips, one of which comes pre-installed on the IEMs, 1 set of foam ear tips, context card, and a user manual. Impedance of the IEM is 32 ohms, sensitivity is 111 dB. Cable is removable and it has 0.78mm 2-pin connectors. Design-wise, there's almost no change from the original T2, and it still retains the classic T2 bullet shape. The shells are medium in size and they are made from aviation-grade aluminum. The face plates have a TINHIFI logo in blue. The IEMs have 2 vents, one on the side of the IEM and one on the inside part of each IEM. The nozzles are made from metal, they are on the shorter side and a bit thick. There is a metal mesh at the end of each nozzle and also a small lip that helps with ear tips retainment. The IEMs use 2-pin connectors, and the socket on the right IEM is red, which allows you to quickly identify left-right channel when you pick up the IEMs. The IEMs also come with 6 sets of silicone ear tips, one of which comes pre-installed, and 1 set of foam ear tips. All the tests in this review have been performed using a stock silicone ear tips. Now a couple of words about fit and comfort. The shells are medium in size and they have quite ergonomic shape. The nozzles are on the shorter side, but finding a good fit and seal is not a problem at all. The stock silicone ear tips are quite okay too. I was using this pair for extended periods of time and they are quite comfortable. The cable that comes with IEM is good. It's 1.2 meters long, 8-core silver-plated cable with a straight 3.5mm connector on one end and 2 0.78mm 2-pin connectors on the other ends. It also features wide splitter, pre-molded ear hooks and a plastic chin slider. Overall the cable quality is good, it's low in microphonics, and I particularly like the 3.5mm connector. Now let's talk about the sound. Please note that all sound impressions that I'm sharing on my channel are completely subjective, so please take them with a grain of salt. T2 DLC sounds neutral, with some upper mids presence, bass boost and some dip in the mid-treble region, and this results in a bit uneven tonality, though it still makes this IEM a good all-rounder. The bass on this pair is elevated, so it's far from being neutral. It's quite fast, thick and detailed. Sub-bass extension is good and mid-bass provides a good amount of punch. The pair handles bass-heavy music really well. The lower mids on T2 DLC are a bit recessed, the upper mids are boosted, though they are not harsh or sibilant. The timbre of instruments is good and overall mid-range sounds smooth, but vocal performances sometimes lack note weight and depending on the recording it makes vocals sound a bit distant. Treble is not the strongest aspect of T2 DLC, but it will be appealing to treble-sensitive listeners. The treble extension is lacking, and despite the fact it provides a fair amount of details, I can't call this pair particularly crisp. Treble also lacks air and sparkle, and because of that the treble presentation is a bit dull for my personal taste. Soundstage size is about average, imaging is okay for the price, instrument separation is above average, overall clarity is good, detail retrieval is average and micro details retrieval is average as well. In terms of technical performance, this IEM is okay for its price, but it can't compete with some other IEMs in this price range. Now a couple of words about differences between original T2 and T2 DLC. First of all, there is a change in configuration. T2 DLC has just one dynamic driver, while the classic T2 has two dynamic drivers. Both models have identical shells, which is made from aluminum. Original T2 has an MMCX connector, while T2 DLC has a 2-pin connector. Tonality-wise, both have slight differences in tuning. Original T2 has more of a reference neutral type of tuning. It also has a better focus on mid-range and treble, as well as more detailed bass. In terms of resolution, T2 DLC is, in my opinion, a step up. Technicalities-wise, the original T2 has some more details overall, but in terms of soundstage and layering, both pairs are practically identical. Let's summarize. In my opinion, T2 DLC is a good all-rounder IEM that provides a good bass response, fair instrument separation and clarity in its price range. Pros: good design and solid build, mostly neutral sound, low frequencies have a good energy, 2-pin connector which in my opinion is more durable than MMCX, and IEMs are comfortable for long listening sessions. Cons: not enough sparkle and air in the treble, vocals lack note weight and sometimes sound distant, and the IEMs have average detail retrieval in this price range. Now to the main question: should you get T2 DLC if you already, like myself, own the original T2? It really depends. I wouldn't necessarily call T2 DLC an upgrade to the original T2 in terms of the sound, but if you want more bass and smoother treble in the same form factor, T2 DLC might be a good side grade. If you don't have the original T2, T2 DLC might be a good option if you are looking for engaging sounding IEM with smooth treble and warm sound signature. In addition, I think that 2-pin connectors that are installed on T2 DLC are more practical in the long term. Alright guys, that's all from me for today, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell icon to receive new video updates. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.